Hello, my name is Anne, and today we'll be talking about my Tigrex Greatsword speedrun. I'll be pausing the video every so often to discuss the strategies I use to achieve this time. If you want to see a clean, unedited version of it, it's already hosted on my YouTube channel. So on the way to the monster, let's talk about the fact that I'm running True Charge Slash over Rage Slash. Rage Slash is generally preferred in this matchup, but as I was running it with Rage Slash, I determined that I could stun lock the monster pretty heavily, and I was losing too much damage on downs, so I thought it might be faster to go for TCS. And that led to us looking for stun locks. So we go ahead and hit him. I'm going to tackle really early here so it catches the back end of my super armor on the roar. And that is going to give me just enough time to let this TCS rock. I'm only using Focus 2, so there's going to be some RNG. He is going to get to move before the TCS comes down. But his head movements, there's really only two different ways his head's going to move, and the RNG is consistent enough that I have backup plans to hit his arm and go for something different. But right here, RNG lines up, we hit his head. So we're going to roll back and go for 2 tackles. First tackle whiffs because of positioning, that's okay. Second tackle is going to hit. This tackle is literally just here to build stun, that's all we wanted to do. That head flinch occurs 100% of the time, so you can always get 2 tackles if you're positioned correctly, and he will always enrage and immediately roar after 100% of the time. It's just how the math works out on these thresholds. Again, have to tackle relatively early to get through this cleanly. And see, there's some of that RNG. Like, this is how close Focus 2 is cutting it. You should really be running Focus 3, but I'm running Focus 2 for a very, very specific reason. And that flinch is guaranteed, and you get 2 tackles afterwards. But we only get 1 tackle. So here's a fun fact. I'm running 2 points of Slugger in return for that point of Focus to try to get him to be KO'd as quickly as possible. If I land all 4 tackles in my opener, he'll get KO'd on the 4th tackle, and I can guarantee TCS him, and then get another guaranteed TCS afterwards. But with the dogs, you can KO early, and I got a particular high roll on the dog here that has KO King, and I only took 2 tackles with Slugger to knock this thing down. So pretty good dog RNG, but also it actually stops me from getting TCS immediately here, so we have to go into this combo. I'm not really going to argue with doing the strong slash combo. It's still nice that we knocked him down so early, and this actually sets me up to look for flinches I wouldn't have otherwise, so it's still a win. I have to stun lock this monster for TCS to be worth anything here, so I'm going to start aiming for parts to get flinches. So right here, I'm not actually trying to hit his head, I'm trying to hit this arm. That arm will break with 2 TCSs, so 1 TCS and 1 ACS isn't quite enough to break it. So I could still TCS this arm and get him to flinch, and then hit it again and break him to knock him down. That is the plan I'm going for. This is all 100% planned. So he's going to spin here. Spin is the best possible thing that could happen. If he doesn't spin, we have backup plans to still continue hitting this arm. But because he spins here, it's really, really easy for us to hit this arm. And again, this is guaranteed to hit this arm the way I aim it. Okay, that is the flinch. Now one more big solid hit to this arm, and he goes down. When we break the arm, he goes down. So we're just looking to get one more hit on this arm. You get a really opportune flinch there. That is an unplanned flinch. And then the TCS connects with the arm as he's winding up to do the spin again. So the RNG here was that he spun. If he didn't spin, I might not connect this TCS. I was pretty confident it would hit the arm if he did anything that would allow it to go off. But, you know, that's the risks you got to run sometimes, though. So now that he's knocked down, I get a level 2 SCS. That doesn't change, even with Focus. And I'll still get a level 3 TCS after. Always prioritize your TCS damage. The reason I can only do a level 2 SCS is because I need to roll and then tackle if he does anything. So he does do something. If I had fully charged that SCS, I would not be allowed to tackle through this and continue damaging the monster. But I know, again, after that break, the damage is stacked up just right. So if I hit it with a fully charged level 3, he's going to get flinched. Ta-da! But I'm not confident in chasing that one up with the TCS. The run's going really, really good, and we're going for safety now. So power sheath up because I'm looking for him to do something that's TCS punishable or for him to go to sleep soon. This is about the time where I think the dog's sleep could be kicking in. And the power sheath is going to be just enough damage to push this thing into capturable territory if that happens. So he runs past. Can't really punish that. Can't really punish this either. But what I'm doing back here is he does this taunt, and he normally will turn around to look at me afterwards, so I'm just trying to get a little bit of extra damage tacked on before I TCS the turnaround. But there is no turnaround. So I'm going to Power Sheath out, keep the Power Sheath up time for what's about to happen, and very obviously we're going to TCS his head. I think TCSing his head here ends the run, so I'm going to double check that we get it lined up. We lose some damage on sharpness here, but then something glorious happens. So we hit these Jaggies, and you're like, oh, but we lost sharpness. So the way True Charge Slash works is that if the first hit hits a weak zone on any monster, it makes the second hit deal way more damage. So the fact that we actually hit the Jaggy here buffs this TCS to deal more damage. It would deal around 1700 without the buff, but it's going to end up doing like 2200. You gain like 400 to 500 damage. At this point, I'm thinking, okay, surely this thing's dead. Unfortunately, the health roll didn't work out in my favor here. But you know, there's a really, really simple solution to that, and that's just hit him in the head really hard. And there you have it. That is Tigrex in 219. In order to improve this run, you're going to need some pretty darn good RNG across the board. And, you know, the only time the RNG didn't come up in my favor was him doing the double dash run, the double hop run. That's it. So, yeah. Don't really have much else to add to it. It's pretty simple, all about knowing your flinch thresholds and stunning the monster. So, yeah. Anyways, that's all I got for us today, so maybe I'll see you another time.